All right, so today is finally the day that we have been waiting for since it has gotten hot outside.
Spray foam insulation, it's happening today.
The guys should be here any minute. We're just waiting on them. And we have finished and worked so hard to get this place to where it's at right now in the past week.
Day and night.
Right.
I know I am worn out.
Me too. So we're gonna bring y'all along so y'all can kind of see the process and show y'all the before and afters.
So hopefully before too much longer we'll have some cool air whispering in here. We won't be sweating and changing clothes 4 times a day.
And y'all can stop hearing us say that it's so hot. You'll only hear that whenever we're at the river.
Yeah, that's right. Do you have the perfect diet day in and day out? Yeah, us either.
With our crazy hectic work life, we do not consume the amount of nutrients that our body needs.
Here we have Ritual.
Ritual helps people to fill in the gaps in their diet with no shady alternatives, fillers, or colorants.
These 2 easy-to-take capsules provide 10 nutrients to support a strong foundation for your health.
A company that can provide transparency is a company that we can trust. Ritual provides this transparency by listing all the ingredients, where they are sourced from, their nutrients and why, plus their environmental impact.
Ritual uses 100% recyclable materials, and mailers are made from recycled newsprints and plant fibers.
They even use a plant-based ink. Ritual is the obsessively researched and transparently made vitamin.
Essentials for Men contains 10 high-quality nutrients like vitamin A, D, omega-3, and zinc. The delay-release capsule design is gentle on an empty stomach.
For women, their capsules contain 9 high-quality nutrients from D3 to omega-3 that are difficult to get enough of every day. They also offer 50-plus prenatal, postnatal, kids, and teen vitamins, and recently launched their essential protein range.
Ritual is a vegan-friendly, non-GMO, gluten-free, allergen-free, and contains no added sugar. Ritual is offering 20% off your first month by going to the link listed below in the description.
And using code CAJUN20 at checkout. Thank you, Ritual, for sponsoring this week's video. So we've got a bunch of the same questions asked over and over, so we thought we'd go ahead and take a few minutes and explain to y'all why we decided to do this spray foam, why we went ahead and insulated these walls, our AC unit, and so on.
The main thing is the spray foam insulation. The reason that we chose to go with the spray foam insulation is that we wanted the absolute best insulation that we could possibly get for this home. We wanted our energy consumption to be as low as we could possibly get it to heat and cool, because our plan is to convert this whole home off of municipal power onto solar power.
So obviously we did have workers come in and do this spray foam. We did look into doing this ourselves, but
that would be a no-go. Absolutely not. Too much equipment to rent, too many things to buy, and who knows if we would have got things right and made a mess of this. And the cleanup, they come in here and knocked it out, and we would probably still be working on it. The juice definitely wasn't worth the squeeze. Some things in the DIY sector, the value really isn't there to do it yourself. By the time you add the time, by the time you add the product, by the time you add the equipment, these companies that do this are really good at it, they're really efficient, and they own the equipment. So sometimes they can come in and actually do this for you, and we're just learning this. In this situation here, they can come in and do this for you at almost a break-even cost of what it would take you to individually get everything to do this project with.
Another question that's probably going to come up is, why did we insulate just these 2 long walls?
And the quick answer for that is those walls are adjacent to our living area and kitchen. So if someone's in the bedroom trying to take a nap, they're going to hear what everyone's saying in the living area, and we just didn't want that. We wanted a separation from that.
You act like that someone would be us. We all know who we're talking about here. So it is just going to provide a little bit of a sound barrier for us. And are we going to insulate the other walls?
That's a really good question, because the answer to that is well, we don't know. We're going to kind of play it by ear as we go, and because we're doing room by room, or we're going to attempt to do room by room, and we're going to evaluate that as we go.
Y'all give us your thoughts. Do you think that we should insulate all these walls? Do you think that what we have is good? Just kind of give us your feedback, because we want to hear how y'all would do it.
One of the things we need to do is go back and absolutely check our 16-inch centers on these studs on the walls. We really did pretty good, but we've never done this before, so we knew we had some mistakes. So we came back in and had to add a few blocks in a couple places to make sure that when we put the drywall up, it fell out on an even 4 feet. Another big thing was everybody was like, hey, did you pressure test your water lines, your supply lines? And the answer to that is yes. But we were right down to the wire getting that done. And let me show you some of my handy engineering work to get this done. So we ran out of plugs to plug these open-ended lines with. So I had to cut some little sharp pieces and put some couplings in to make it work, to make it complete the loop to hold the pressure. Check out this guy over here. That is an expensive plug right there.
I would say that we were short like a lot of plugs.
I would agree.
Like a lot of plugs.
So in pressure testing this, I honestly have no idea what to pressure test it to, but I do work in the industries. So I kind of base my knowledge off of that for this. Not sure if I'm accurate, but what we did was we went to 80 PSI of air pressure, and we held that for 30 minutes, and it held like a rock. Nothing moved. Our water pressure runs around 40 PSI, sometimes 50, it just depends. So 80 is well past that, and we passed with flying colors.
So the way that we have been kind of doing these things and how we are planning to do things are essentially toddler proof. So there's a lot of ways that people would probably do, for example, these outlets that we're fixing to do, or this insulation like we have up, probably all as one project together. But we don't have that luxury because of our sweet little angel 2-foot timer. So if y'all see us do things kind of backwards or we miss something, we probably have a purpose for it. I mean, y'all definitely let us know just in case, because you never know.
That's right. And one of the big things is just the wiring portion of this thing. And we have things broke out on circuits of individuality as much as we could, like one room, one circuit, sometimes 2 circuits, but they only go in that one room. That way when we finish the room, we can put the receptacle covers on and we can put the childproofing in.
And that's probably why we went through, y'all ready for this? 2,250 feet of wire.
And we're still not finished.
I don't like to think about it.
Who would have even thought that it would have taken that much wire? I was really thinking, yeah, 2 or 3 rolls of wire, we'll have this done. 2 or 3 rolls of wire didn't even get us started. It is amazing to me, but you know, it had to be done. It had to be done right. So here we are.
So the reason that we are so fortunate that we're not sweated down right now is because of this sucker right here.
This is a temporary solution to our HVAC. One thing that we didn't want to do is work in the heat, but the other thing that we didn't want to do is ruin a HVAC system working. So this is going to buy us some time to be able to put that in while we work on the sheetrock and we get dust. And if this thing gets sucked full of dust, we'll just give it somebody else.
Whenever it comes to sheetrock, there's going to be a lot of dust involved. So that really, truly can ruin your whole HVAC system. Plus, I mean, really, it could ruin your window unit too. But a window unit is going to be a lot cheaper than a whole HVAC system. So,
and it really speaks volumes for our spray foam. I mean, this thing this evening is like 76 degrees in here, and this is all we have running in this whole entire home, and it is doing a really good job. And if we ran into the winter time and we're still not done and we still don't have our HVAC online, this unit here also has heat, so we're covered on that side also.
So we were able to finish running the conduit and the electrical supply to the house.
Didn't catch that on video because we wanted to be laser focused on what we were doing. We did not want to take a chance, and we know enough to do the right things, but we did not want to be distracted while we were doing it.
You cannot be too careful. So, and we actually know some people that have got electrocuted doing some work on their house, and they were being super careful then. So we went ahead, focused on what we were doing, and since we did get that done,
that meant that we could go ahead and throw the breaker in the box and run the permanent wiring into where the window unit is going to be ran temporarily. So it's a permanent wiring setup for a temporary AC unit. A small sacrifice to pay to have an outlet in the wall that we won't use.
So I guess a question that I wonder is that 10-3 wire that we ran up there, is that something that we could go back and hook it up to a regular outlet?
You could. It would just be oversized for a regular 120 service. We would just have to use one leg instead of the 2 and drop it down on a smaller breaker.
Okay. So maybe in the future we'll do that.
Well, as you can see this week, we have made some huge milestones. We have really moved ourselves in the right direction in this house. We have worked our rear ends off yet once again. But we have a lot of stuff left to do. A lot of batten strips on the outside, caulking, you name it.
And on the inside, we have, well, everything to do. So like we talked about, the toddler proofing starts next week, starting with covering up these pink insulated walls. It looks like a pillow to y'all, but if you ever touched it, you don't want to.
Yeah, we don't want a 2-foot timer covered in fiberglass. And she is in here most of the time, so we got to make sure that we get that covered up quick.
I cannot believe that I'm going to say this, but sheetrock.
Hey, you know, it seems like just a little while ago, and I know this is a kind of a rambly point, but it seems like a few months ago we were out here digging in the dirt, putting in sewer lines for this concrete. It amazes me. It really does.
It has almost been a year since we started this house. And in a year times, this almost 4,000 square foot house built by 2 people is really an accomplishment, I truly believe.
I think so too.
Well, y'all, we're going to get out of the feelings that we got going on, and we are going to see y'all next week.
Thank y'all for joining us this week.
And hey, thank y'all so much for 30,000 subscribers. What?
Hey, that's impressive. Thank y'all very much.
So we'll see y'all next week, Cajun family.